Welcome back! I'm so grateful you're here and investing time in your education. Now is the perfect time to get educated on investing strategies. So we've learned about the benefits of passive investing and gone through a case study of purchasing a single family rental or investing in a multifamily syndication. Today, we're going to figure out if real estate syndications are right for you, learn the rules involved, and then define your investment goals. Ever since I discovered the power of investing passively in real estate syndications, I've been singing its praises. I mean, how could I not? You get to invest in real physical assets, share in the majority of the returns, benefit from pretty amazing tax laws, and diversify into different markets and asset classes, all without having to do the legwork to find the properties or hassles of being a landlord. Having said that, investing passively in real estate syndications is not the right solution for everyone. Every investor is different regarding their risk tolerance, investing goals, and stage of life. So before you invest $50,000 in a syndication, you need to make sure this is truly a good fit for you. Here are 4 criteria for investing. Number 1, you have at least $50,000 of play money. Now, this isn't a rule enforced by the government, but it's a good rule of thumb to start with. Most private real estate syndications require at least $50,000 as a minimum to invest. If your bank account has $52,000 in it, you should not invest. Before you put that much money into investment, you should make sure you don't need that money and you're prepared to lose that money. We make sure to put in contingencies and buffers to not lose any money, but an investment is an investment and there's always risk involved. Number 2, you are comfortable taking a back seat. During our discussion yesterday on purchasing a single family versus a real estate syndication, I asked the question if you wanted to be heavily involved or not. If you're the type that loves rolling up your sleeves and doing it yourself, then a syndication may not be the right fit. As a passive investor, you will not be the captain of the ship. You are simply a passenger on the cruise ship. You will not have direct contact with the broker. You won't be applying for the loan. You won't be getting bids from contractors or working with the property manager. Instead, you'll have access to an investment summary deck, legal docs that describe the risks and potential benefits of the investment, and monthly or quarterly updates on the progress. Number 3, you want to invest for the long term and don't need the money for a while. Real estate syndications are not get-rich-quick schemes. They are get-rich-slowly but steadily approach. You should plan to keep your money in the investment for 5 or more years and consider it illiquid, which means you won't get it back before the sale or refinance. While we always do everything we can to help investors if an emergency arises, it's really on a case-by-case basis, and we can't guarantee you can pull the money out of an investment early. Number 4, you are open to sharing returns. Sometimes there are hundreds of investors on a given deal. Passive investors enjoy the majority of the returns, usually 70-30 split or 80-20, but there will always be a portion of the returns that go to the general partners. The general partners are responsible for the heavy lifting. They work with the property management company, monitor the renovations, spearhead marketing efforts, prepare financial statements, and handle unexpected situations. You want them to get paid because that incentivizes them to work hard on your behalf. Now that we've determined real estate syndications can be right for you, let's talk about prerequisites. I first heard the term accredited investor a few years ago. And if you know anything about me, you know I like to learn all the titles from best athlete to my MBA to line leader in elementary school. So what was an accredited investor and how could I get it? The Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC for short, regulates large investment opportunities. One of their requirements is that any real estate syndication that is publicly advertised is open to accredited investors only. So what is an accredited investor? An accredited investor is someone who meets at least one of these criteria. Over the last 2 years, you have had an annual income of $200,000 or $300,000 for joint income, and you expect to earn the same or higher income this year. Or your net worth, not counting your primary home, is over $1 million. Now, there's no formal process for applying for the title of accredited investor and no certificate to frame on your wall. It's pretty much a self-diagnosis. If you qualify as an accredited investor, you're eligible to invest in most real estate syndication offerings, which allows you to diversify your portfolio and grow your streams of passive income. However, if you do not qualify as an accredited investor, don't write yourself off. There are still ways to invest in commercial real estate. The returns will be the same, but the offering themselves are a bit harder to find. In order to invest in a syndication, you will need to have a substantive relationship with one or more of the members of the general partnership for the deal. Finally, let's talk about defining your investment goals. After all, as the Cheshire Cat in Alice in Wonderland says, if you don't know where you're going, it doesn't matter which path you take. You'll want to define clear goals so you won't get swayed or confused by opportunities that come along that may not align with your goals. So let's meet a few investors and see what their goals are. This is Danielle. She's a working professional with 3 kids and has had a successful corporate career. Her job pays well, but she doesn't really love it anymore. The long hours, excessive meetings, and stressful deadlines are taking a toll. Danielle's goal is to create passive income streams to cover her family's living expenses so she can eventually quit her job. In other words, Danielle is investing for cash flow. She is interested in investments that will provide a steady stream of income for her family now rather than years in the future. She wants the investment to offset her income. Danielle's goal is to generate $3,000 a month in cash flow, which will allow her to switch to part-time work and give her more time to spend with her family and even dust off old hobbies. While reviewing passive investment opportunities, she sees that she can make about 8 to 10% in cash flow per year from many of the multifamily syndications. In order to get $3,000 a month or $36,000 per year, Danielle would need to invest about $375,000. With that in mind, Danielle can easily turn down any investment opportunities with projected cash flow returns lower than 8%. And if she sees opportunities higher than 10%, she knows she would be highly interested. Now let's meet Bernadette. Unlike Danielle, Bernadette is not that interested in cash flow. She has a fantastic gig doing freelance work and loves what she's doing. She isn't planning to stop anytime now, but knows she would like to invest and build wealth for her future. Bernadette lives in San Francisco and knows that city and others like New York have experienced huge upswings in real estate values. She also knows those investments come with higher risks, but she's fine with that. Bernadette is also okay to wait longer for a potentially bigger payout rather than getting returns immediately. She knows her risks and looks for investments in rapidly appreciating markets, as well as value-add deals so she can maximize her chances for appreciation. Now, most investors are not exactly like Danielle, nor exactly like Bernadette. Most prefer a hybrid approach where you get a combination of cash flow and appreciation. You can achieve this by investing in value-add properties in an appreciating market. Unfortunately, this is my sweet spot. I love the hybrid approach. I get ongoing cash flow to help with my current living expenses, as well as the potential for appreciation down the road. It's really important to know if syndications are right for you, know your status as an investor, and know your investing goals. That way, when a deal comes along that fits you just right, you can dive in with full confidence that it's the right thing to do for you and your family. Thanks again for joining me. Tomorrow's class, we'll dive into the details of a multifamily syndication and what to expect as a passive investor. See you then.